that than try to do someone else's, dharma that I perceive them not doing well. Better I let them do their job in whatever way they do. But again, it comes back to, I think, who am I? What am I really here to do? And then to make a stand, actually get out there and do something.
Hey, Mark,
sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, and that's a good point because, that's exactly what the Pythagorean philosophy was about. And it's even been banned. There was a university in 1816 that banned them even teaching the Pythagorean theorem in their university because they didn't want to bring up his name. Every time in history that Pythagorean groups have formed, even Benjamin Franklin was known as the Pythagoras of the New World. And every time he comes up, it's usually associated with a revolutionary action. And a French revolutionary named Sylvain Maréchal in about 1800, he said, all revolutionaries of all times were descendants of Pythagoras, because Pythagoras said back in his day that inequity will be the downfall of humanity. And so 2,500 years ago, he's warning us of what we're having to deal with right now and why our children, like Greta Thunberg and others now that are showing up, are having to step forward because we've allowed inequity to become the norm, and it is destroying us.
And what do you think, Mark, will take to renew humanity's respect for Mother Earth and all her inhabitants?
Well, like the natives said at the gathering we went to about 8 years ago, the International Indigenous Leadership Gathering in Lillooet, they said, it'll be like the third great shake where Mother Earth shakes humans off like fleas from a dog. And so it looks like what we're heading towards is a reset. And we're all going to have to learn how to respect Mother Nature because we've created a situation now, again, that the kids are rising up about, that Mother Nature is going to show us what she's capable of. And so, like many of the scientists say, we're no longer in a place of preventing what's about to happen. We've moved into a place where we now have to learn how to adapt.
Yeah, I understand that one of the things that is keeping us down, keeping us ignorant, is the fact that governments and religions alike don't want people who are critical thinkers. They don't want people who question. They want to be left unaccountable. They want to be able to go about their business behind closed doors, and they really do not appreciate people who actually question their motives, their actions, because they are now being held accountable. They would much rather have people being brought up through the system who just do as they're told and are basically supported and encouraged to just be peons, to do the job, don't question anything, don't question authority, just do your job, and we'll supposedly take care of you, and so on and so forth. But the thing, as you're saying, is that, we are all one. We are not living on Mother Earth. We are Mother Earth. It was a great video I remember seeing once, and one of the segments in it was this woman, female shaman in I think in New Mexico, and this woman came up to her and asked her, "How can I help heal Mother Earth?" And the shaman said to her, "Don't worry about Mother Earth. Heal yourself first."
Well, that's a good lesson, and that's where we have to start. And what I don't understand, Stephen, what amazes me is that this very small, that Greta points her finger at all the time, this very small percentage of the global population that's become stupidly wealthy, and then all of this money sits in various bank accounts and hidden in offshore accounts and whatever, like little tumors all over the planet, blocking this flow of energy in human society. And, what do they think? For us normal people, or just basic people, we look around and we think, yeah, we need air, good water, good food. What do they think? That if they have all the money and all the toys, this level of sociopathy is, I think, what we're fighting against. And I think that's what the kids are recognizing, that there's a complete level of inactivity. Even, as Stephen Hawking said, if it wasn't for greed and stupidity, humanity might survive. And Greta is taking that into action, where the kids are rising up. And like you say, yes, we're conditioned into believing that we just are cogs in the wheel. But Greta's saying, no, we're not cogs in the wheel. We're going to show you that change is possible. And I think as older people, all we can do is support that action.
Yeah, actually, it was interesting. There was a guy called Paul Harvey, and this was about 20 years ago, and he had a radio show, and he would say, and now you're going to hear the rest of the story. Well, one of the things he did mention, which was, again, about 20 years ago, he said that if you took all the money in the world at that time and distributed it evenly between every man, woman, and child around the whole globe, each person would have $7 million. However, within a couple of years, it would probably go right back to the top 1% having the bulk of the money, and everyone else, just going along with whatever the status quo is currently. There is some sort of mindset, where people who come into large sums of money just squander it, and they just can't seem to have the wherewithal to be able to make the best of it. And so there is some mindset that has to be overcome, because there's a belief system, obviously, that, there's certain ways of looking at money and what it means. It's not balanced, not in the least. But let me just pass this back to Deb.
I guess we'll be taking a short commercial break now. Now, to find out more about my guest, Mark Boiko has a YouTube channel with many of his documentaries there for your viewing pleasure, and I happen to be in the one titled Gnosis. And JP can be reached at www.wellness.nerium.com or at 604-603-5477. And Mark's YouTube channel is Traveler 2Ls891. I invite you to write with any questions, requests, or comments. Simply write to me at info@deborahlavelle.com. I also invite anyone who's interested in helping me create a feature film based on my first book to please visit my Patreon homepage to find out about all the great and beneficial projects that are planned. If you feel inspired to, you can donate as little as $1, $5, or $20 or more, and you'll receive some amazing gifts in return. Just visit patreon.com/Deborah Lavelle. Stay tuned.
Without you in my life.
Male or female, we all age and would love to look and feel our best. There are ways to sharpen our brains and smooth our skin. Nerium International, through True Botanicals' real science and proven results, have created a holistic line of anti-aging products for skin, body, and mind, holistically reversing and preventing the aging process. For a free sample, go to wellness.nerium.com and call and text Stephen at 1-604-603-5477.
If the challenges of these times we're in are weighing on you and you feel disillusioned and not supported even after years of personal growth work and spiritual practices, then working privately with spiritual coach Deborah Lavelle will give you the insights, perspectives, and tools to navigate through the challenges. So to become more grounded in the love that you already are, write to Deborah at info@deborahlavelle.com. Are you suffering with pain? Do you have concerns about your bones? Or are you trying to slow down the aging process? Then listen up. Dr. Oz said this is the future of medicine. Pulsed electromagnetic frequencies. To find out more about a natural way to help the body heal itself, contact JP at 604-603-5477 or go to Deborah Lavalle's homepage and click on the link to his website.
Omega Institute, offering workshops, retreats, and online learning dedicated to awakening the best in the human spirit. With a 40-year track record, pioneering holistic studies, and helping more than 1 million people find a deeper sense of purpose, Omega is known the world over as a trusted source for an integrated approach to personal growth and social change. Located in Rhinebeck, New York, just 90 miles north of New York City, Omega's natural environment and quiet pace allow for extraordinary experiences to unfold. Learn more at eomega.org.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
Welcome back, everyone, to Living in Quantum Love here on Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, heard every Thursday at 4 a.m. and 4 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 1 a.m. and 1 p.m. Pacific. Today's show title is The Importance of Being You. Hello again to my guests, Mark, Boiko, and J.P. Stevens.
Hello, Deborah.
Hi, guys. Mark, you're a contrarian, a critical thinker, and a voice for those who are lost. Who are you? Are your main inspirations Pythagoras at this point, or was there any others?
You know, I love that because it's so almost impossible. You know, like I was saying earlier, you know, on this path, and you and I've talked about this, that along the way, it rips your life apart at different times, and it's done that. And so I think to point to a single individual, and again, I guess it's what we're talking about earlier, is that one of the parts that has evolved along with learning more and more and trying to get out of the social condition. I feel like the first 30 years was spent just undoing all of the social conditioning and the education that had been imposed. So that was the undoing part. And once that had unraveled, and with all the various life disruptions that go along with unraveling things and blowing your life up, then I was forced to come back to a place that, because it was all I had was me. And so I had to come back to that place and find the center and the ground again, and then start from there. So I feel like the real spiritual journey in my life has only occurred in maybe the last 20 years, because that was the point at which my life blew up, and then I started trying to reassemble things. And thankfully I had an education, and I was open mentally, philosophically, to new ideas and new ways of being in the world. So I traveled a lot. Ayahuasca in South America made a big difference and opened up doors that I didn't even know existed. And then the shamanic practices, going to Scotland, you know, visiting Rosslyn Chapel and actually seeing the iconography that's built into that chapel by the Templars, and then following that thread back to the Cathars and hiking through the around Montségur through the mountains, and realizing that little children and old people had to do that trek as they were Christians as well, but they were Gnostics, and I didn't really know, you know, because our lives in Canada are surrounded by Orthodox religion. I didn't even know earlier in my life that there was such a thing as Gnostic Christianity, and they tell you and teach you to trust the master within. So all of this ultimately kept leading back further and further in time. I got to Hermes Trismegistus, and then from that point, Hermes Trismegistus started to lead forward into Pythagoras' time. And once I encountered Pythagoras, I realized that was a moment in human history where we could have taken a completely humanitarian approach to the way he was the one that promoted the idea of philosopher kings, that no king should be a king unless they're a philosopher already. So, you know, to weigh the benefits of humanity in every decision that's made instead of their own egoistic desires. And that's where we lost it. So Christianity completely bombarded him. Christianity, Roman Catholic Christianity, pushed out the Gnostics, pushed out Pythagoras' philosophies, pushed out everything in their fear and avarice and greed and desire for control to perpetuate the Roman Empire into modern times. For them, it wasn't about spirituality at all. It was about building their empire.